In this video series, I'll be sharing a bunch of different tools that I have used during my spiritual awakening that have helped me navigate my own journey. So today I wanted to talk about a book, and that book is Ask and It Is Given by Jerry and Esther Hicks. As you can tell, mine is pretty worn. I have a lot of bookmarks, a lot of highlights. This book has been a little go-to kind of Bible for me over the years. So I want to recommend this book because it has so much good, like just raise your vibration. There's just so many positive things to it. I feel like every time I read this book, I just feel positive. I feel, more aligned. I feel like, I'm going on. It's almost like you have somebody kind of helping lift up your energy and lift up your spirits. And so that's why I always go back to this book again and again. But there's one part in particular that I wanted to bring to your attention, and this is called the Emotional Guidance Scale. So as you can tell, it's a list of emotions, and they go from kind of more negative emotions such as fear, grief, depression, despair, powerlessness, all the way up to the top, the highest vibration: joy, knowledge, improvement, freedom, love, and appreciation. And so I think it's good to have an understanding of, these are the different emotions that we may have, but also that we have an emotional set point. And so that emotional set point is based on, as we've gone through life, through our childhood, through different things we've experienced through our life, we kind of have a set emotion point. So I'm sure you've met people before where, they're always really happy, and, you meet those type of people, and then you also meet people that are always, more on the negative side, more everything's wrong. So this kind of helps you understand that, we are going to have, predominant one of these emotions that we have in our day-to-day life. And of course, we're going to have variations. But I want to read to you this one sentence where it talks about those higher emotions. So, absolute alignment with your own source energy means that you know the following: you are free, you are powerful, you are good, you are love, you have value, you have purpose, all is well. And so, this is really something that kind of helps you remember that this top emotion here is really what we should all be at. I mean, this is our birthright. So as you think about, we're in this 3D world and we're trying to navigate everything that we have going on, but our true nature and our true alignment is joy. And so that is something that we really, want to focus on and try to remember and get back to that, because like I said, when we come to Earth, we have the veil of amnesia and we forget everything, and we kind of have to start to remember who we are, and that's what the spiritual awakening process is. So a couple of points I want to make about this emotional guidance scale. For one thing, it's very important to get to know yourself and understand yourself and know kind of where you are on this scale. And I will share an example of the reason why it was important for me was as I kind of started open up spiritually and psychically and became more in tune with energy, I started to realize one day that my emotions had gone all the way down to the very bottom. And it took me actually 2 days to realize, you know what, this isn't me. I mean, I kind of have, a set point of emotions that I kind of stay in a certain realm, but this was like not me at all. And so it took me a while to realize, you know what, I have actually picked up on somebody else's energy, and that can happen for people that are empaths or clairsentient before we understand energy and before we understand energetic boundaries and protection and all that is involved in that. So that's one example that I wanted to share about why it's important, because it's good to know kind of like your range, and if you're going kind of out of your range, to understand that, you know, something's not going on here. Now, that's just one example, and that was for me in particular, but I just wanted to share that in case that may help somebody else. The other thing I wanted to mention about this book is, what I like about it is, you know, everybody always kind of says, you know, raise your vibration, rise your vibration. But it's kind of like, okay, well, do I just focus on positive things? Like, how do I get myself to, you know, go up the scale towards a more positive, joyful emotion? And so this book, you know, kind of lays out that it's very difficult to just go from a lower state all the way up to joy. And so it has a bunch of different exercises in the book that tells you kind of how to go from one of these emotions up to the next one. So it kind of helps you, give you these tools, and that's what is very helpful. You know, I mean, when we're trying to understand ourselves and understand our, you know, internal workings, you know, nobody gives us a guidebook on how to do this, right? And so I think this is one of the tools in our toolkit that helps us navigate this process and helps us to better understand how we can kind of deliberately take action and work on ourselves and make these improvements. And even though they may be incremental, every little thing that we do to improve ourselves is going to help us in the long run. So that is one book I wanted to share. So if you're new here, I'm Heather. I've got a whole channel on YouTube where I'm mapping out different tools and topics that will help you along your spiritual awakening journey. When I first started out on my journey, I had a very difficult time finding information that was easy to understand. I went through so many different YouTube videos and I would find something here, something there. So I wanted to provide a kind of map for people to navigate the journey and try to find exactly what they're looking for. So make sure to check out my YouTube channel and look for daily videos. All right, thanks. Bye.